Hi, I'm Casey.
And I'm Gianni.
I never finished reading the Animorphs books as a kid, and I still haven't as an adult.
And I've never read them.
We can't tell you where we live.
But we can tell you that we want to revisit these books as adults and dive into what we would keep or change if we were to put it on TV.
Two friends, 50-something books. Welcome to morphinbuddies.
Sure. I mean, you can cream me anytime. Yeah, I love getting creamed, cream pied, cream... Yeah, they call me Big Cream in these streets. I don't know if you've heard that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of morphinbuddies with me, your host, Casey Cisnowski, and my good buddy, my good friend, my best pal, Mr. Gianni DeMaia.
That was high praise this time. You're buttering me up. You're buttering me up because what you put me through.
Because I know the meltdown is coming through. I know the meltdown is coming for this.
Yeah, it is.
Well, before we get into the rage, we did get an email.
Oh, hi.
From our little freak, Just a Bird Jimmy.
My boy.
Hey,
my
boy.
Sweet boy. I raised him myself.
Sweet boy. Yeah, I know. You know, I'm very proud of what you did for him.
I'm his father.
And then I pushed him out of the nest. I said, get the fuck out. We're done.
Get out of here. What did that lunatic say?
This lunatic sent us an email, said, Dear Morphin Buds, I'm sorry about the pets you've lost. Have you thought about doing paint by numbers of your pets? That's what I did when mine passed away, and it felt like it was a good tribute to her. Here's a link in case you're interested. And he sent me a link, which is very nice of you to offer, Mr. Just a Bird Jimmy.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
Yes. And then he says, attached, a treasure. A compilation of interviews with K.A. Applegate. Casey, you once mentioned wanting to learn more about the ghostwriting process. This book has all those answers and more.
Whoa.
And if it doesn't, it might be worth hitting up Catherine Applegate or Michael Grant on Blue Sky for a new interview.
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, I mean, I'll do that either way, but,
yes,
it's a book that has a compilation of interviews.
Yes. He sent me like a giant PDF file that I can download. And,
oh my gosh!
But here's the thing: I don't know if there's spoilers, so I don't want to download it yet. Just a Bird Jimmy. But it is here, and I'm very happy that you sent this because I'm dying to get into this.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy says, "P.S. Seropedia, your acknowledgement of my existence was a hilarious consolation prize."
Yeah, we love bringing fans together.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's all touch little fingies together and make a connection. You know what I mean?
That is, very sweet. I don't know what paint by numbers is.
You've never done a paint by numbers?
I don't know what that is. What is it?
That was my jam during the pandemic because I had such bad anxiety. I couldn't keep my shit together. So I decided I saw paint by numbers in like some kind of ads or something. And so I looked it up. It's a blank canvas and it has little sections with numbers in it. And the numbers correspond to the color paint that you paint in that section.
Okay.
And once you're done, you have this beautiful picture of whatever you wanted to get.
Oh, cute.
But I did several of these through the pandemic, and it helped me a lot with my anxiety, and it helped keep me grounded. So highly recommend.
That's very sweet. Yeah, I will look into it. I'm a tattoo guy, so it'll probably be a Vita tattoo if I was a betting man. But I will definitely look into that because that sounds fun.
Where are you gonna get her tattooed?
It'll probably be on my arms. That's the only place I really get tattoos nowadays.
Yeah.
You know.
Fair.
Until I have no more space, and then I'll have to go to other parts of my body. But I'm a big tiny tattoo guy for all audio listeners who have not seen me. I know when we met Just a Bird Jimmy, I was like, do we look like what you thought we would? And he was like, kinda.
He's like, I can see Casey's face in the thumbnail art for the podcast. And he's like, Gianni looks different.
I'm a rotisserie chicken, so that would make sense.
He was not a rotisserie chicken in real life, though.
Yeah,
just
not
to make
this
that
time.
Clear. Not this time.
Not this time.
He didn't morph into a rotisserie chicken.
Not yet, but
not yet.
There's still time.
Exactly. One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
So,
but yeah, thanks, Just a Bird. You're a true pal.
True pal, true bird. We just
True
love
bird.
that for you.
You're a true bird.
Bird boy.
I actually, by pure coincidence, and I forgot to text you right when this happened, but I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with my regular group, and one of our characters is a Kenku. Not to get too in the weeds but Kenku, basically a bird race for all intents and purposes.
Oh, cool.
And she has not listened to our show, does not really know much about our show at all. Definitely does not know anything about Just a Bird Jimmy. But randomly bust out the line organically. She was like, well, what do I know? I'm just a bird. And I was like,
Jimmy?
That's Jimmy. That's
Jimmy.
Him.
Oh.
He was speaking through her.
Oh my God, Jimmy, was that you morphed as a different human?
A human?
A
playing
human?
a Kenku? all popping up in all these spheres of my life, just convalescing.
And it's like, we're the only ones that can laugh about it.
Yeah. So I giggled, and no one else.
Damn, dude. Well,
Yeah,
maybe
thought that
next
was fun.
time. Maybe next time.
Yeah, we'll have to explain the Just a Bird Jimmy lore.
Yeah, absolutely. Sit down, children. It's time for the legend of Just a Bird Jimmy.
Basically, this guy wrote in, and he signed off all of his emails, and then we just kept talking about it.
He's
That's
just
the
a
whole
bird.
lore.
That's all he was, just a bird. So, going off, that's our only email for this week.
Beautiful.
The book that we read for this week was book 43, The Test, where Tobias is beautifully, stunningly turning into a little Taxon on the book cover.
Turning into the biggest, like, monster creature,
Little
lobster hand.
claws.
Ugh, yuck. So much of this book is about them digging as well.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know about the design of this. It doesn't look conducive for digging.
Yeah, but it did.
Sure did. Sure did. Dug a lot.
Look out, my boy be digging.
Yeah, dug into my last threads of sanity and tried to snap them. That's for sure.
Yeah, how did you feel about this book, Gianni?
Yeah, bad. I have a question. I have a question for people who listen to this show, because you guys hear me complain often. Most of it's for the bit, but even the bits are true. But here's my question for the people who listen to the show. When you know a book like this is coming, do you guys already know I'm going to be upset about it? Or are you surprised in the...
Yeah, like, do you know us well enough
question.
that you know if we're going to be annoyed or amazed or upset?
Right. Like, do you, like, when you read the test, or when you heard my protestations against the departure, like, did you go, oh no, I'm really worried about him getting to the test? or is it just like smooth brain, like, I don't know how Gianni and Casey are gonna take it? No wrong
Call our
answer.
listeners smooth brain.
No, but no, I mean smooth brain in the sense of, like, I just come in fresh every time, and I have no idea what Gianni and Casey are gonna think of this stuff.
Yes.
And I am just genuinely curious, because you could have warned me, okay? If it's the former, you could have told me, hey Gianni, you're gonna be upset about this. Brace yourself now, and then I would be like, okay, all right, I can tolerate that a little bit more. Here's the thing about the test. On the surface, it's a direct sequel to the Tobias torture book, The Illusion.
Was it a test on your nerves?
It was definitely a test on my nerves. It was a test on everything, because it masquerades as a direct sequel to that, but it's actually a direct sequel to the Not All Nazis Are Bad book, which is that Cassie book, The Departure.
Yeah.
And all of the themes, not only are they stuff that we've already covered before, but, like, everything in this book is, like, nauseatingly tone deaf to, like, a crazy degree. I'm gonna get very harsh about this book, guys. Okay, I just need everybody to be prepared now, because
Prepare yourselves.
I don't think it's, like, a poorly written book, and I need to just get that out of the way now, because the things that I'm gonna say about it are gonna sound way meaner than maybe I mean them to be. But I need everybody to know, like, they even reference Hitler in this book to justify some of their own theories. Like, that's how tone deaf this book is.
Yeah.
And that's just like a blanket criticism I can levy over the whole thing. To say, like, well, Hitler was even nice to his dogs as, like, a justification for why Yeerks might not be bad. Hey, maybe that doesn't make sense.
That's
maybe
not the
that's
flex
actually
you
a
think
bad
it is.
idea. That's a crazy thought to have.
Yeah.
When Dune Messiah, slight spoilers for Dune Messiah, but when Frank Herbert wrote Dune Messiah and he had Paul like directly reference Hitler and Genghis Khan, it's supposed to be illustrating the point that Paul is bad. This tries to illustrate the point that actually our Animorphs are good people when they try to assert that there might be some moral fluidity with Yeerks. There isn't. Okay? The Yeerk Peace Movement, it's an oxymoron until proven otherwise. I have yet to see a Yeerk Peace Movement actually do something impactful to work against what the Yeerks are doing to humankind. This is all a fascistic regime, and you can be a good, quote-unquote, good actor within a fascistic regime, but hey, guess what? You're still participating in it. Until proven otherwise, you're a fascist to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
And they like trying to have it both ways. We're just convoluting the inherent good versus bad.
Yeah.
That's just already fundamental to the story at large. So that's one thing. Mm-hmm. The other big problem with this book is that in order to tackle all of the themes that it's already done before... Yeah, go ahead.
Is Paul in Dune played by Timothée Chalamet?
Yes, in the new movies.
That's why I don't like it. Okay, that's why he's the bad guy. Did you like my hand raising?
That was great. That just to be like, by the way,
Excuse
hot
me.
take, don't like Timothée Chalamet. That's crazy. But okay, so in order to tackle all of the themes that we've already tackled in other books, and now we actually just regress characters back to whatever they were before, where now all of a sudden, again, we're thinking maybe not all Nazis are bad, which is crazy in and of itself.
Yeah.
But in order to get there, we contrive a plot that is so mind-bogglingly obvious from every single interaction that they have with Taylor that I cannot, for the life of me, even wager a guess as to why any of the Animorphs thought, oh, well, we have to do this anyway.
Yeah,
there is the fact that there's some sort of debate about maybe Taylor is telling the truth.
No, she's not, because she says she's not telling the truth at one point. Like right at the beginning.
There's not a single moment where she's even remotely convincing that she might be a part of the actual Yeerk Peace Movement and that she needs their help in some way, because she starts it off by kidnapping him.
Yeah, that's true.
What are we doing? I don't even understand how they try to play this back and forth. Like maybe she's a femme fatale, maybe she's actually convincing.
No,
makes no sense. But then also. And this is kind of spoilers for the book, so we're just jumping ahead a little bit, but fuck it, I'm on a roll, okay? So the whole thing with the ending, right? Like, this whole climax happens where, you know, they've convinced them to stop the attack on the Yeerk Peace Movement, and then through all of the different circumstances that we're going to get into and all the different weeds of all the different plot, whatever. Mm-hmm. The point is that it culminates in Cassie basically beating up a bunch of innocent people to get to a gas valve to turn it off so that the gas tank doesn't explode and kill everybody that's in the Yeerk pool. This is portrayed as they saved the day. Now, not only did Cassie expose herself as another rabid animal in Forks, Washington, where the Animorphs apparently takes place, so then now these animals are just running rampant and no one's doing anything about it, which is crazy in and of itself. But also beats up all these innocent people, turns off all the gas to save, quote-unquote, the Yeerks that are part of the Yeerk Peace Movement, and as it's revealed, the Yeerk Peace Movement Yeerks are all feeding at the same time, and that was Visser 3 and Taylor's whole plan, was to just wipe them all out with the Animorphs all together. If Taylor and Visser 3 know that the Yeerk Peace Movement was meeting on Saturday at that particular spot in the feeding grounds, they already know who the Yeerks are that are part of the Yeerk Peace Movement.
Yeah, they know who they are. Like,
you didn't save anybody. They're dead. They're gonna be dead.
Yeah.
If they're not dead today, they're dead tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Soon as this plan falls through, Visser 3 and Taylor are gonna do whatever plan A was, which was shoot them in the fucking head. Mm-hmm. So what did you do? Nothing. All you did was get involved in this stupid circumstance, almost kill all the Animorphs for no reason, and then pretend that you did a good thing and pat yourself on the back, and it's like, well, we did save the Nazis. No, you didn't. Literally, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
So everything about this book drives me mad, but, like, the plot and the themes together and the way that they're portrayed is insane that they even published this book.
Yeah.
That's my rant.
I think, beautiful rant. I think that, this book, I can see what the ghostwriter was trying to do, and I can understand that the books are now getting a bit repetitive with the character work, and they want to add in some kind of complication, and they want to try to make it, like, not necessarily black and white, so kids can try to critically think about these situations, but this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. And again, the ghostwriter is not a bad writer. There were actually a few lines in this where I was like, oh, that's actually a really good line, or that's a really good little paragraph of, like, description of stuff that's happening. I just think it was really the wrong way to go about it, and it's really kind of the wrong message to send to kids about, like, they're Nazis, and we can't put up with this type of shit. We have to nip it in the bud before it gets out of hand, and we can't be making excuses for these people. And I know that it's heartless to say, well, in a war there's going to be casualties, and that's just how it is. And I'm not trying to, like, dismiss it in that way, but unfortunately there are going to be innocent people that die. And honestly, I think that the Yeerk Peace Movement would be happy to die if all the other regular Yeerks were going to die also. They are purposely putting themselves in this dangerous position where they could get caught and killed at any moment and die a horribly slow, painful death. I think they are willing to sacrifice themselves to this cause if they're able to take
for the sake of their rebellion.
Yeah, for the sake of the rebellion, for the sake of people's freedom. I think they would be willing to do that, and I just hate that Cassie is just on this character stint now of just, oh, we have to save them, they're good people, we have to do this, we have to do that. It's like, they're not, though. Unfortunately,
they're not though until proven otherwise. And that's I think the bigger thing with your point too, which is like I would totally agree. But, like, if they want to, if they really did, like, K.A. Applegate and Michael Grant and the ghostwriters all, like, really put their heads together and said, like, we want to elevate this story and we want to talk about something a little bit more complex, and we want to actually have the Yeerk Peace Movement, like, be an actual force of good, an actual force of the rebellion against this fascistic movement from the inside. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would advise it as, like, their editor or publisher of this because of the target audience that they were going for. But I think that that's, like, an interesting idea if that's what they're going for. You have to do that. I do not take the Yeerk Peace Movement seriously. I called it an oxymoron before because I agree with that, because there has been zero evidence of the Yeerk Peace Movement actually doing something substantive against the Yeerks, apart from literally just, I guess, talking about how they don't necessarily agree and then doing it anyway. I don't see any evidence that they're helpful at all, and so why would I believe just because they put a label on themselves and say, I'm part of the Yeerk Peace Movement?
Yeah.
Okay, then show me some element in which you've actually provided peace. Every time we've ever encountered, which has only been a sparing, like,
2 books.
Few times.
Yeah.
Anytime we've encountered a Yeerk that has, like, an actual different moral code from the regular Yeerks that we're subjected to in, like, the usual, like, black and white of the Yeerk stories, it's always, they just have a thought, but they're doing the same Yeerk things anyway. They're still taking agency entirely away from people for their own selfish gain. And I do not I see no evidence to back up why anyone would want to support that. But then, like, it's just so frustrating to me that the series has this, like, strong desire to get so dark and get so, like, morally gray and really, like, dig their teeth into these, like, complex narrative elements and these themes.
Gets there. Not quite.
Because they always back away at the last second. If you actually wanted this book to leave some sort of lasting impact, then the ending should literally be that last conversation that Tobias has should be instead Taylor just outright telling Tobias, like, sure, you saved them today, we'll kill them tomorrow, we know exactly who they are. And then that has the new weight of, well, all of this was for nothing, and I believed you, and now all of it was for naught. That is scary and that is dark, but that
it has
elevates
gravitas.
A lot of and that's what you're going for. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
You can't be a fun, schlocky, campy Power Rangers thing, and then have our guys like kick ass, take names. We're killing Hork Bajir at the beginning of 2 books ago or whatever, like without a cause or a care. And maybe that's like a little bit of an exaggeration, but like point being, they do kill other people in this series. That's not an exaggeration. But then have Cassie turn around and be like, "Well, I can't be a part of this."
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think what needs to happen, instead of sowing these seeds of Cassie, quote unquote, rooting for the Yeerks or standing up for the Yeerks, I think we need to have more seeds of Cassie starting to crack. And I think by the time we get to this book, she actually has like a psychotic break in where she like she, not necessarily like she loses her mind and she has to be put in an institution, but she gets to a point where she starts acting erratically. And maybe she starts, like, maybe if we change up the plot a little bit, Taylor's about to turn on the gas, and the Animorphs are, like, fighting her or fighting the Hork Bajir, trying to get her. And then we see Cassie come in, also trying to turn on the gas, because she just wants this to end. She can't fight anymore, and she just wants all the Yeerks to die. And then everyone can be like, Cassie, what are you doing? And she can't comprehend who she is anymore as a person. Now, I know these are kids' books, and we can't really have something quite that dramatic happen, but that would be great.
But you say that, and then at the same time, this book then tries to also have that stuff happen.
Exactly.
And then it just backs away at the last second. So it's, we crashed a plane into a tower.
Yeah.
Why are we trying to pretend that these books are like only for kids? Like they're not. They're clearly not.
No, they're not.
And then the resolution of all of them inevitably is like, but this is still just a fun story.
Yeah.
That's not the story you were telling though for half of these.
We need to make it more serious, and we also need to be okay with kids experiencing consequences, like life-threatening consequences, life-altering consequences. Kids are smart. And yeah, they might be a little bit scared of something, but at the same point, it shows them that actions have consequences. And I think that's such a huge, wonderful lesson to teach kids so that they can start to critically think about things as they get older and really kind of understand that life is not black and white. It's very complicated. And so I think in our adaptation, I would really push for just Cassie having a break, just a mental break. Something happens and she just loses it. She snaps. So now not only do they have to try to stop Taylor, now they also have to figure out where the fuck Cassie is and where she's going and how to stop her. So, it would be a very interesting juxtaposition. You could even have Taylor grab Cassie and put her in front of her and says, well, if you're going to kill me, here's Cassie. We're standing on the same side now. And it's just like
the real complex thing with the adaptation. And I think this is something that I think we've maybe like talked around or had the idea of like many, many books ago. But I think the real thing is that if you're adapting this material for TV or something, there needs to be like a serious conversation in the writing room about what people want from the Animorphs. Do you want, like, if you want something that's just going to blindly follow all of these books, unfortunately, it will not last the entirety of a television series. It just won't. Because, you know, audiences will immediately say, like, well, they didn't really invest enough in this particular plot line or whatever, and you know, drop off. And the thing about it is that I have to be very careful, because I understand that a lot of people that, you know, listen to our show or that read these books regularly or something, it's very delicate. We're talking about nostalgia, and there's no price tag on nostalgia. But the reality is that if you're adapting this series, you have to be adapting it for a wider audience than people who have already read the books a dozen times, right? There's no way that you're going to sustain an entirely new audience with the way that the source material is already constructed. So then you have to have a serious conversation in the writing room about, like, okay, what do we want out of an Animorph story? And I think that there's a lot in all of the stories that can blend together more fluidly in regards to the tone between, like, the really schlocky, campy stuff and then also the really serious stuff. But there has to be, like, major overhauls on a lot of the serious stuff.
Yes, I agree.
And to your point, like, bringing Cassie to that place, that's going to be a major departure for a lot of people. But there, I mean, there's a million things that also need to be overhauled. And I think that another big one in this one would be Tobias's characterization. Tobias becomes a shell of the character that we once saw, and part of that is to be a commentary on the post-traumatic stress of being tortured and what happened with him there. But that does not then directly translate to making one of our smartest characters into an actual stupid person and how he interacts with Taylor. He is, like, completely just a different human when he talks to Taylor in this book. That is a person who is like, I don't know if we can trust her. Dog, what are you talking about? I don't know if we can trust her. Dog, there's not a single, like, even microscopic moment in which I thought she was telling the truth. Not once.
Never, ever. And she even tells him the first time he meets her in person, her actual real Taylor self, not the Yeerk, breaks through and says, don't trust her. Don't trust her. Okay, I guess we'll trust her and see what happens. What are you doing?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why would you do that? Like, what are we saying?
I don't know.
What are we saying?
I don't know, Gianni, I don't know.
And so I think a major thing in the adaptation as well would be, like, you have to find a way to make Taylor more convincing. Like, that, in and of itself, like, would have to be the case. But I wouldn't. It's also weird, right? Like, I wouldn't cut this one. I think this is like an important story to tell.
And there's some really good things in this. Again, like a lot of these ghostwritten books, there's so many good little bits in these books that would work really well within a story. It's just we have to reorganize them, and we have to make it either more serious or more balls to the walls goofy, you know? And again, making this into an episodic series, you can play around with those tones a lot with episodes. It doesn't all have to be series forever. But we can play around with that, and that can be a nice flow between the two tones. So
if you're able to tie them appropriately narratively when the story calls for it. And this one does call for it. I can see why they wanted this story. I just think that one, it also should have closed the loop on Taylor. I'm so mad that character is now still lingering out in the ether, because inevitably that's now going to come back, and I'm really not excited for whatever the next stretch of that is. Not because she's not an interesting antagonist, but because she makes our protagonist less interesting in how they deal with her. But I would close the loop on Taylor. I would make, like, Taylor needs to be more of a fully functional, like, concrete story like David, if you're gonna have that character exist.
Yeah.
And this is just like, it's all these lingering threads, these themes that are being recycled and then regurgitated through the lens of this particular story, making our characters dumber just to contrive the plot, and then never having them actually come to grips with the natural conclusion, which is that the Yeerks won this one. This is definitely a W for them.
Yeah.
And never once is it portrayed as that. Instead, it's portrayed as like Cassie did the hard thing, but she was able to save the day. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
I don't know what book you were reading, but that isn't what it was. So it's, I get why people like these heavier ones. The heavier ones seem to have a way harder time selling me, and I think it really just comes down to, like, the execution of the themes and the way that they talk about them just does not seem to align with the tone of the series at large, or any of the characters in terms of how their consistency and through line through the narrative piece. And that's really what needs to be overhauled.
Do you think that this is because a lot of the ghostwriters are writing the more intense books? Because I remember when we had Applegate and Grant writing the intense books previously, they seemed to be a lot better. And I'm, again, not disparaging the ghostwriters, but I think because Applegate and Grant are the source of the tone, the characters, creating this world, they're so entrenched in it. And the ghostwriters just are not. Not as much.
I think the only thing that, like, the ghostwriters would have to grapple with is really just that it seems evident to me, and I could be wrong in this, but, you know, I'm excited to read that book where Applegate actually addresses some of the ghostwriting process. But it seems evident to me that the one, like, hard and fast rule of these ghostwritten books is that they really can't change anything from the natural order of how it flows. So, like, it still has to have, like, a resolution that nothing, you know, a lot could happen in between the book, but that resolution has to be, we get back to a sort of like net zero of where the Animorphs can start with the next one. And I think by design, because the other ghostwriters have to be able to jump off and use different plot points from previous books, but may not have all of the information of whatever the book is immediately preceding this. That seems to me to be the only hindrance on, like, the actual difference between what the ghostwriter is capable of and what Applegate and Grant are when they get back to the series. Now, I say that, though, with the caveat of, like, I don't know if Applegate and Grant really, like, as respectfully as I can say this, I don't know if the outline that they gave for this would have really changed the actual substance of the book very much. Just based on the actual plot structure and how this book is sort of set up to establish itself as a direct sequel to that Tobias torture stuff. I get the impression that, like, this is kind of the same book that Applegate and Grant would have done, which is not what I would say for every ghostwritten book that we've read thus far, because I think that, you know, some of them have more layers and interesting prose than others. And I think that this one is clearly in the hands of a writer who is relatively capable, but is just completely misguided on how to execute the different themes and structural setup that Applegate and Grant seem to be going for with this. So, like, I don't think it would really change that much. I think that ultimately the only thing that we're not getting out of this is, like, a more satisfying conclusion that I don't even know if that would have changed very much. I think that Applegate and Grant also agreed with the hard and fast rule that, like, the series is going to go for as long as people are interested in it. We're going to keep getting it back to net neutral every time because we want to be able to, like, end the series at will, which I imagine whenever we get to the end, that's what they'll do. They'll start to really move the plot forward in big and consequential ways. But I'm not holding my breath until we get to book 50 or whatever.
All right. Well, I think we've jabbered on enough about our problems. Do you want to start with reading the book, Mr. Gianni?
Sure. It starts with a boy lost in the woods.
Oh no.
There, and it's not Tobias, because that is a bird.
That is a bird boy.
He goes through painstaking lengths to say that he's a bird, but he's picked up that there is some sort of boy that's missing out in the woods, kind of near where he lives. He's sort of scoping it out, trying to find the boy. Oh, lo and behold, he finds the boy.
We also learn that the boy is deaf, so he can't hear people calling for help.
Right.
And so,
fortunately for us,
Tobias
the Animorphs can speak in your head.
But here's the thing, though. Here's my question. Okay, and I'm not trying to be like funny or like ignorant or anything like that. This is genuinely a question I have to put a disclaimer because I'm nervous.
We're talking about someone with a disability.
Listen. Can a deaf boy understand thought speak? Because if he's born deaf and he's never heard sounds before, can he understand the sound of language in his head if he's never heard it spoken out loud?
I mean, I think definitely, and because...
Nice word. Definitely.
No, I think definitely.
There you go.
Good one. Oh, pat yourself on the back, you bigot.
No way. No.
I think definitely, and the reason I say that is because if deaf people can understand ASL, right?
Yes.
Sorry, audio listeners.
He just tried to sign language.
I know letters. I know letters in American Sign Language. But anyway, if a deaf person can understand language through the interpretation of different hand movements and stuff like that, then it would reason to believe that however they interpret that language in their own head would also communicate through thought speak. And it's the same reason why they would be able to communicate with alien species that don't speak their language, because it would just automatically translate to whatever they're trying to get across in their heads. Elfingord, it's not like Elfingord explicitly spoke English, but he was still able to communicate with the animals immediately.
Yeah, that's
same with Axe.
That's true. Good point. And also, I wanted to mention that Tobias kind of alludes that perhaps he chose to stay in Morph rather than lost track of time and got stuck as a hawk, which I was like, okay, like finally an admittance.
Sure. I mean, it's not really anything that I didn't already assume before, but I guess good that he's kind of acknowledged it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't really know if it's as big a...
No, I don't think it's a huge thing, but I thought it was a nice little touch.
Well, no, because you're not the only... The reason I say that is because you're in my looking up what people thought about the test, you're not the only person to acknowledge that was like a cool revelation for this book to touch upon. And I didn't see it that way. Like, when I was reading the book, I just kind of thought, like, yeah, of course. Like, I guess I always assumed that Tobias didn't really... like his life as a human, stayed in bird, and then kind of regretted it in retrospect. But I never really thought. So, but yeah, I mean, clearly there's something to it, because you're not the only person with that thought. Is all to say. I think I'm the stupid one.
You're not stupid, Gianni.
You're more emotionally empathetic to the bird plight.
I am. I love the sad bird boy.
Yeah,
but
and I do not. I don't get it.
But I can fix him, Gianni. That's the point. I can fix him. So Tobias.
Yeah, now that he's blonde, now you really gotta fix him.
Now I gotta fix him. I can do it.
Get him back to his roots.
Yeah. So Tobias learns that this kid's name is Bobby, which immediately when I read that I was like, Bobby, like Bobby Hill, Hank Hill's son. So now I'm just imagining Bobby Hill. I'm just
Bobby Hill and King.
We love Bobby. He's a champion.
That was how you were picturing.
Yeah, I was just imagining.
Tobias just talking to animated Bobby.
Yeah,
Hill.
it's just Bobby Hill can't get out of the hole, and he's just in there like, all right, like just sad that he's in a hole.
Brilliant.
So Tobias flies around and he's like, oh look, here's the search party, and here's the dad who's distraught at losing his son. And so he goes to the dad and he thought speaks to him. And the dad says, cool, let me follow this bird. Not questioning that a bird can speak. Not looking around and saying, did somebody say something? No, he immediately makes eye contact with Tobias and says, you know where
I know what's happening
You know where my son is? Let's go. Like, okay.
This was in an ancient proverb that was once foretold.
It was foretold to me.
The bird would guide you.
So,
in moments of deep distress.
So, yeah, he gets the dad to follow. The search party follows. Yay, Tobias saves Bobby Hill. And then Tobias immediately gets attacked by a golden eagle and knocked out.
Yes.
Get wrecked.
I recall, and maybe this is just a crazy stretch, but was there not an eagle that also had beef with Tobias in like one of the books like 20 books ago?
Yeah, like a territorial beef.
Do you think it was the same one, or am I just reading too much into that?
I mean, I think it would be cool if it was.
I just read it as like, oh my god, the same eagle is back. But I actually, now having read the whole book, I was like, it doesn't come back up again. So I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just another bird. Like
it could be.
But I thought, oh, how interesting that they alluded
it'd be cool
to that.
To have it circle around.
So many books ago. But anyway, he gets knocked out. He wakes up in basically
a vet clinic.
Vet clinic that's kind of nursing him back to health. One of his wings is broken. Obviously, Tobias knows that if he just morphs back into human or morphs into anything and then morphs back to the bird, that his sort of DNA will reset.
He'll fix it.
Factory settings, so to speak. Which also, I was thinking about this, and our science buddy might be able to help us with this, but it's been broached before that Tobias is going to have a shorter lifespan as a bird than the rest of them.
15 to 30 years.
Are we sure about that? Because I would think that if you're morphing to anything and then morphing back to the default state of whatever you were, if it like defaults back enough to fix your human form, would any of them age? I don't think any of them would age.
That's
as long as they keep morphing.
Question. And I don't know. That was something I was thinking about too. Yeah, science buddy Ryan, what's up? How's this work?
I mean, honestly, maybe they outright address it later in the series, but that definitely was something I thought about. I was like, I don't think we need to be concerned about that. I think the only thing we really need to be concerned about is like, hey, these kids are 100 years old and they're still 13. Like that might be something that becomes a concern later, but regardless, it's not like we're going to address it in this book. So just a thought, planting the bug in everybody's head. But so I also should mention that if you weren't sure that this was going to be a sequel to The Illusion before, you are sure very quickly into this book because it's all Tobias can talk about. If he's not talking about just his life as a bird, or if he's not talking about just the different things that he's had going on with his hunting for animals or getting by on this and that.
Sorry, you froze and then you disappeared and then you came back, so I missed all of what you were saying.
No, that's okay. I was really just kind of riffing. I had seen that it was reloading, so I was just talking. But basically my point was when Tobias is not talking about just being a bird or life as a bird, he's also talking about the trauma of everything that he experienced with Taylor when he was tortured for however long and held in a tank until the other Animorphs were able to come and rescue him. And that immediately is like, okay, I think that Taylor's probably going to show up in this book. Like, even if I hadn't read the plot synopsis, it like makes very clear. It's like, hey, we're probably going to be grappling with a lot of the same things because Tobias just keeps talking about that bitch. He's like, yeah, that fucking bitch.
He was tortured.
Really my life.
He was tortured.
Yeah, she's really ruined my shit. Yeah, and I mean, rightfully so.
He's really harsh in my vibe.
Yeah, he's like this. He's like that. Yeah, she really sucks. I hope I never see her again. But while he's sitting on the table and the vets are sort of inspecting him over and they're talking about what they're going to do for him, he gets very anxious that he's revealed himself and the thoughts speak that the word is going to get out. You know, he sees something on the newspaper. One of the vets like shows him very innocently, like a newspaper clipping that has a headline about
She's
a bird.
Like, you're a hero,
the father.
bird.
Yeah. And so he's like, oh my God, I've put myself on blast, and I've been here now for longer than I should. I got to get out of here before they find me. Of course, the second the vets leave and he does his little morphing thing, almost immediately chaos ensues and everybody's going after Tobias all at once. There's a whole big kerfluffle back and forth little interaction where
human controllers
are trying to get to him, and then the Animorphs come in and try to help him, and then Taylor ends up getting to him. And yeah, by the way, Taylor's back.
Yeah, now she Inspector Gadgets him, where she puts gas out of her fingertips and stuns him and knocks him out. And then he wakes up in a cage.
Yep, once again. And he even laments to himself, and this was unintentionally funny, but he even says, like, this is paraphrasing, but he says, like, oh, great, like, right back where I was. like, she fucking got me again, and now I'm right back where I was, staring at a cage through at Taylor.
Yep.
And she's talking very menacingly out the gate, but basically offers him some sort of proposal. She says that, she's a part of the Yeerk Peace Movement.
There's going to be a civil war coming, and
that she actually wants to work with the Animorphs, and all they need is really just like a little bit of backup, and she has this big plan, and so they can work together.
All you have to do is email me by tomorrow. Here's my email address, boy. Good luck with your dial-up internet.
And so he brings it back to the Animorphs for some reason, rather than just mercilessly killing her right then and there.
Yeah.
By the way, and this is neither here nor there, but it was something that was bothering me, and I wanted to ask you about it because I was like, did I miss something? There are a couple of times early in the book where they talk about the whole thing with, like, Taylor being, like, scarred and sort of like, has basically a deformity, I guess, from, like, what her
she lost an arm and she lost a leg on opposite sides of the body.
And then later in the book, they say 2 different times when Taylor, like, appears to other people, how strikingly beautiful she is. And I'm not saying that you can't be beautiful when you have some sort of mass deformity or disfigurement.
Gianni.
I'm not saying that, but it did seem like it came across like a mistake. Like, does that make sense? Like, it came across like a writing, like, continuity error, as opposed to us trying to make some sort of declaration that Taylor is very pretty, but also has, like, this other thing with her body.
What happened in the last Taylor book when she was introduced, I believe they said that when she was burnt to shit and nearly dying and accepted the Yeerk in her head, they said that they would plastic surgery her to make her beautiful again. And then they gave her the new arm and the new leg with Inspector Gadget tools in it to...
Okay. I remembered that. I remembered the parts of it that they had, like, put back on her or whatever, because it's not like she's, like, rolling around
they essentially,
in, like, a wheelchair or something
they
like that.
essentially gave her the substance, and now...
but I did not remember that they specifically were like, oh, and we'll make you pretty again.
Yeah.
I didn't remember
I believe,
that part of it.
somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they said, we'll fix your face, we'll make you look like a porcelain doll, essentially.
That sounds right. Okay. So. I was wondering, I was like, why would they go out and mention that she's, like, scarred up and then immediately be like, oh, by the way, so stunning.
Gorgeous.
I get it. She's pretty, but I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So that makes much more sense. Neither here nor there. Anyway,
so
this proposition comes through. The Animorphs now have to consider it. Go with what you were saying.
Yeah, and so the gang's like, well, Tobias, what do you want to do? We're going to leave this decision up to you since you've spent the most time with Taylor. And Tobias is like, all right, like, let's just see what's up. Let's go meet her. Let's see if we can make some kind of deal. Sure, fine. Let's go test it out. So they send her a message, and she messages them back, and she says, hey, let's meet at a Borders. And they're like, all right, great. I love aborters. Let's go read a book. So they get, so she essentially says to Tobias goes to meet her in human form, and he says, this is the morph I choose to meet. Oh, no, he acquired Taylor. We forgot to mention this. While Taylor was kidnapping him at the vet clinic, he grabs onto her arm to try to stop her, and then he has this really smart thought of, like, let me acquire her, because maybe that will help my situation, because that's all I can do right now. So he acquires Taylor. And so he goes to the borders as Taylor before she's fucked up, which is insane and a little cruel, but I like it. I like it a lot. And so Tobias gets there, and Taylor's like, whoa, I didn't realize. How did you acquire me? And Tobias is like, I have my ways. What's up?
Yeah.
And so she tells him, I want to blow up the Yeerk pool. We're working with this peace resistance, and we want to blow up all of these Yeerks. And then you see her fighting herself for half a second, and real Taylor comes through, and she says, don't listen. Don't trust anything she says. And then, boop, immediately Yeerk Taylor takes over and says, oh, don't listen to that silly goose.
Which is also funny in context, because even in context, I wasn't believing her before. So
no,
then
I wasn't
just,
either.
Like, cements,
how could you?
It's like, okay, so now we should get out of here. We shouldn't do anything. Tobias just smooth brain lets it go right over his head. He's like, huh, that was a strange thing.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you know what? That's weird, but I think this is a good idea. And she's like, a way we can dig through to the Yeerk pool, you morph Taxons. They eat forever, and also Yeerks have a really hard time controlling them, so I'm sure you'll be fine with it, you 14-year-old child, even though she doesn't know he's a 14-year-old child. And she's like, and you guys can just morph out of Taxons and just switch off every couple hours and just eat the dirt. Because that sounds sane. One, do they know how to make a tunnel stable after digging a tunnel? What if it collapses in on them? That was my first thought.
Clue.
Secondly,
no clue.
If Yeerks are having so many issues controlling Taxons, where I've heard it said multiple times through these books, Yeerks can't even control Taxons because of how great the hunger is. How do we expect these 14-year-old children to control the hunger of a Taxon? How do we expect them to not tear each other apart and essentially kill each other? And then Tobias is like, no, cool. This sounds like a good plan. Let me go talk to the gang. And the gang...
So the whole gang is like... The whole gang basically is like, well, she's clearly lying about something, and we don't intend to just blow up the Yeerk pool and kill all those innocents, but we should see this through because
guess we'll find
we should
out.
At least see what she's up to. Which is the stupidest thing I could possibly imagine.
Why do you want to play life on hard mode? It's hard enough.
Yeah, what? Yes, right? What are you talking about? Also,
no.
we have seen the Animorphs, and credit where it's due, okay?
Yes.
Lord knows I don't love all of their plans,
yes.
and I certainly don't like when they hide them from me, because that drives me nuts. But we have seen the Animorphs be very savvy at outwitting people with these types of devious plans. That they have one ace up their sleeve and they throw it out at the last minute, and it shocking twist, but the Animorphs actually did win the day. We've seen them grapple with bad plans before and still have backup ideas to make sure that they don't do something too evil or devious in the name of whatever. They have no backup recourse for this. Their plan is literally, we follow along until we can't.
And then nothing after that. Nothing, no backup, no Yeerk the Chi to hologram themselves out of there.
I don't even think they broach Yeerk the Chi about this idea.
He's gone. He's gone from our sight.
In fact, if I recall correctly, Tobias has a mention of Yeerk at some point in his own inner monologue where he basically says something like, I could have asked Yeerk to, project or something or do something specific, but he was like, it probably would be broaching on his violent, whatever the Chi can't do or whatever in regards to violence. And I remember thinking, no, it wouldn't. Like you're just asking him to like project a thing.
Yeah.
That wouldn't breach his code of ethics at all.
You could also ask him.
He's done way crazier.
Yeah.
But that's like, it seems to be like their one line mention of Eric to get him out of the story.
No.
You have this overpowered robot best friend that you use at any convenient time, any inconvenient time too. Why not bring him in on this plan to at least pick his brain? Yeah. He's been alive for, I don't know, 1 billion years or whatever the fuck it is, but what do I know?
So the gang say, all right, yeah, we should do this. And Cassie says, well, I don't want to destroy the Yeerks. And they're like, Cassie, what the fuck are you talking about? That's been the plan this whole time. And Jake shuts down the conversation. He's like, well, I'll sacrifice my brother if it means to save this whole population. And Cassie, like, we're signed up for that. Marco was going to kill his mom. Like, why can't you be on board with this? And Cassie's like, well, I'm not going to do it, and I'm going to sit this mission out. Now everyone's like, get fucked. Goodbye. And Axe and Tobias decide to go as Andalites to meet Taylor. Taylor leads them to a hole in the ground where she has a Taxon. It almost feels like a trap, but they swipe at the Taxon until he's dying. Yes, Gianni, do you have a question?
One other thing to bring up. I just wanted to bring this up just because I did think that this little lore drop was cool, and I was shocked that they hadn't done it earlier. But when Tobias turns into Axe, Axe basically gives him a haircut.
This was cool.
And basically just to make them not look exactly identical, because Axe and Tobias are both like, I don't think she'd really be able to know like that we're different, but or that we're we're the same, but just in case. And then Axe actually explains what haircuts mean in
cool.
Andalite culture, which was kind of fun. It's kind of a Dothraki rule, but they like, you know, their long hair will grow, and that's supposed to be demonstrative of a warrior or an upstanding person in Andalite society. If you make some sort of mistake, your commanding officer will shave them down, so that way you can sort of bask in the shame of what your mistake was, and then other people can recognize that. And then as it grows back, then
so does the respect.
So too the shame. Yeah, the shame washes away, and the respect grows back as well.
Yeah,
I just thought that was cool. But
yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I forgot about that, and that was a super cool thing to have. Again, cool little thing in this book. So she gives them the Taxon. They swipe at it until it's dying, and then they acquire it as it dies. And then Tobias realizes, I thought this was kind of cool. He's like, now the only bit of the Taxon still alive is within me and Axe. Like, it's dead, and we just have a little bit of that. And I just thought that was like a really interesting little moment that Tobias kind of realized.
It is interesting. It actually kind of inadvertently makes other things more confusing. For example, when Tobias acquires Taylor in this same book, he acquires her at her deformed state, for lack of a better term. Which would imply that whatever their default is, it is like when you acquire that DNA, right? Mm-hmm. If they're acquiring the Taxon as it's dying, would they not then also be dying?
That's
if the injury is maintained. It's not like Taylor was born with that. Taylor was born very beautiful and then like was.
But I don't think Tobias had the injuries when he morphed Taylor. I think it was just her fully human.
No, I'm not saying Tobias's injuries. Oh, I thought you said that when he was Taylor, he wasn't her porcelain doll form. He was twisted form.
No, he wasn't. I think he was her regular form before she got burned from the fire.
Got it. Okay.
So
he's like a more refined, beautiful version of Taylor, like a more authentic looking Taylor.
I would say Taylor before everything horrible happened to her. And so for her to look at that and recognize, like, that's who I was, that's kind of crazy. So
got it. Okay.
That's, yeah, that's why I like that moment. So I think, again, the rules are kind of gray. It just, whatever, you know?
Whatever.
Let's go with it.
Whatever.
Let's go with it.
The Taxon's not dying. It's alive in them.
Yeah. So Tobias, he goes down and he decides to morph Taxon, and he's overcome with the insatiable hunger. So because this is like, I don't know, 2001-ish, 2002, Tobias looks at the dirt and he goes, nom 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 nom, and he noms the dirt until he almost explodes. He almost eats Taylor at one point. And the gang shows up.
Oh, what could have been.
Yeah, exactly. The gang shows up, and this is a part where I said Rachel begins her redemption arc. Because she's getting sick and tired of all these fucking people, of the self-doubt they're having about their skills. And she's like, guys, we have fought so many times. Our whole purpose is to stop the Yeerks. We have to kill them. I don't want to hear this pussy shit. I don't know if maybe Cassie had a point. No, they're bad. We're going to attack them. We're going to kill them. That's it. And I was like, oh, Rachel, I hope this is the beginning.
We're back.
I hope this is the beginning of being so back.
We're so back. We're so back. We're going to fly a plane into another building.
Oh, God, I can't wait. Fly a plane into the tunnel. You know what I mean?
Right into the Yeerk pool.
Right into the Yeerk pool.
There's also a crazy lore drop that happens randomly, and they kind of don't address the insane implications of it. But at some point when Tobias has to urgently turn back, he's trying not to turn back into his bird form and then into his Andalite form because he thinks it's going to reveal to Taylor that he actually is a Nothlit, that he's a bird. And so he actually manages to clumsily morph straight through into Andalite. So it is possible to just go straight through. Now, the way that it's described in the book, it's kind of like, did he really pull it off? It's like he kind of got elements of bird and then Andalited it up, and then so it's like a clunky sort of reveal, but it does at least imply that it is possible to go right through. You know, do with that information what we will.
Yeah, he kind of goes to bird enough and then to Andalite. So it's like bird light, maybe?
Bird light.
Bird light.
You know who I bet would be able to pull it off seamlessly? Cassie. Unfortunately, we won't be able to ask her.
Yeah, Cassie definitely
because she's not in this book anymore until then.
And then Taylor makes little kissy faces at Tobias, and she's like, "You're really cute as an Andalite." And Tobias is like, "I'm set. Thanks. No thank you." And so then he gets out, and Axe goes in to morph Taxon and take over for the digging. And he's just nom-nomming away, just like Tobias. And he gets really deep in the tunnel.
And lost in the sauce.
Yeah, he's lost in the sauce. And they're like, "Axe, are you there?" And he doesn't answer. And he almost eats himself to death, but they get him out at the last minute. It says, "Morph, morph, morph." And then
Tobias, Taylor walks through the tunnel.
Yeah, Taylor comes in through again.
Followed by Grizzly Bear Rachel.
Yeah, get him. Get her. Get her. So then Tobias starts understanding that Taxons eat out of fear more than anything else. And he realizes, like, wow, so many of our impulses are driven by fear. Which, again, this was a really cool little bit of him realizing, like, wow, just reacting out of fear. I'm reacting out of fear because of my trauma with Taylor. Really complex stuff that kids are going to find it difficult to understand maybe, but it's good to drop that in there because I think that gives more layers to Tobias growing as a character, but it's very brief. It's very small.
Yeah,
so,
just a drop.
Yeah, so he makes it to the pool. He gets there and he's looking down over the pool, and Taylor's like, "Sneaky, sneaky, goose ya." And Tobias is like, "Whoa, I've been goosed." And Taylor's like, "Hey, you know what I could do? I think that you should join me, put a little Yeerky guy in your brain, and we can roll the Yeerks together." And Tobias is like, "No." And then she's like, "Fuck off," and she paralyzes him with a gas from her fingers.
If I recall correctly, because she had also because they have several conversations throughout this book, and this is not the first time that she broaches them working together. That happens a little bit earlier as well. But one of the very first conversations that she vies for the Andalites to help her, is that she claims that she's trying to establish a Yeerk democracy.
Yeah. Which
Because I
everyone's
guess
like,
that's our concept of what is good. And then when she broaches the idea that Tobias just basically give her the power to morph and then they could be unstoppable together, Tobias is like, I thought you were vying for a Yeerk democracy. And she's like, well, I am, but, you know, like
also,
a democracy might need to be a republic.
Yeah.
And maybe I could lead the democracy.
Yeah.
And Tobias is like, that doesn't make any sense. Because he didn't go to his Constitution class.
That's right.
And so he doesn't understand what a democratic republic is.
That's right.
So he's like, that's crazy. I don't know what democratic system would survive that. And you know what? Maybe that was a thought ahead of its time. Who's to say? We'll only see.
Fair.
We're only in 2026.
Yeah, exactly.
But then when she broaches this, she basically gives him one final out. She's like, "Are you sure you don't want to work together?" He's like, "Nah." And then she's like, "Gotcha, silly goose."
Yeah, you idiot. Paralyzed, and she out of her fingers paralyzes him, and it's
at this moment that he realizes she'd never wanted democracy.
Exactly. She's just, whoa, what a surprise. No one could have predicted this. Oh my God. So then she runs off and she's always like, oh, by the way, I have a bomb in here and I'm going to set it off and all you guys are going to blow up and you're all going to get dead. And Visser 3 and I are going to, I'm going to rule and Visser 3 is going to be in trouble and he's going to be killed. So bye. And she runs off. And she goes to get ready to set off this bomb, release the gas, make it all big explode. And so Tobias is like, fuck, that's not good. So he's trying as hard as he can to work through this paralysis gas, trying to run through the tunnel. He lets the gang know. She blows a hole in the tunnel. They all start getting blown towards the pool. Somehow there's suction, there's air. I don't know if it's the force of the bomb or...
The spatial relationship in the Yeerk pools never really makes sense to me. Sometimes
doesn't make sense,
I'm picturing a pond. Sometimes I'm picturing like a literal like giant Olympic-sized pool. It kind of is... It's a little bit nebulous. They're all a little different. I never really understand them. But yeah.
Yeah, so so they're getting the whole gang are getting shoved towards the Yeerk pool. The bomb's about to go off. They're all scared, and then nothing. What?
The bomb didn't go off.
And so they all untangle themselves. They all demorph, remorph. They go up through the tunnel that they dug. And they go into the house that had the gas that was hooked up to the Yeerk pool that was supposed
it was like a gas station.
Yeah, like a gas station.
Like that?
It was some little hut with people.
Something that was like
Yeerk
literally routed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they find that Cassie went to turn off the gas, and she's sitting there in a ball, and she's sobbing and sobbing and sobbing because she had to kill all these human controllers.
What? She didn't kill
humans.
them. She didn't
knock them out.
She, wounded them. They're all, kind of, unconscious and in various states of, bleeding and stuff. But, importantly,
she
because...
them.
Because, she Batmaned them. Yeah, what quality of life are we talking about here? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
But she... all the rest of that. Now she's reeling from it. And then the whole, last chapter is just basically being like, by the way, this is what happened off-screen. But Cassie found out... Cassie had talked to some friend
Tidwell.
of hers.
That was the guy in the high school, the teacher. And he let her know, Visser 3 is going to destroy the peace group, and he knows when they're arriving at the pool, and they changed their meeting, so they're arriving today instead of yesterday or whatever.
Yeah, they're all going on
Taylor's
Saturday.
Working with him, and he wants to destroy both the Yeerks, the peace resistance, and the Andalites.
Yeah,
so
just one fell swoop.
That's two birds, one stone. And then it ends with a scene where Rachel and Tobias are kind of talking, and Rachel's like, Tobias, the past is in the past. There's nothing we can do about it. We just got to focus on the future. And Tobias is like, kiss me on my bird beak. And she's like, I would love to. The end. I don't know if they actually kiss, but that would be nice.
Important to note, because I'm looking at just Seropedia now for the thing, and it does say in here, one of the last things that they have is that Taylor is presumably killed in the explosion.
Presumably.
And I don't
Probably
recall
not.
that.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know. Now, is that Seropedia trying to tell me Taylor won't come back? In which case, thank you, Seropedia. Now I won't be looking for it.
You thought Seropedia told you the Helmicrons weren't coming back. They came back twice.
Oh, God.
Remember?
Seropedia outright lying to me about
purposely
Taylor.
Changing Seropedia right away for
Yeah, because
Gianni to read.
I had said like towards the beginning of this episode that I was like, they leave the Taylor thread lingering, but then Seropedia says Taylor is presumably killed in the explosion. I'm like, I didn't think that, and I still don't.
I think
but
what she
now
did,
that Seropedia has written it, maybe she did.
I think she got sucked through the Yeerk pool hole, and they saw her falling, and like that's the last they saw of her. So it's like, like the Lion King falling to your death, but not actually seeing the death.
I see. I won't look it up because I don't want to be spoiled, but I got the impression that Taylor was going to come back.
I do too. I do too. I don't
and maybe
remember
that's
if
just
she
because
does,
I played a lot of Resident Evil, and I've been playing a ton of Resident Evil recently. It's been
congrats.
a problem. Because I played all of Requiem, and then I was like, "Fuck! Now it's hooks are in me. Now I got to go back and replay everything in the series."
Yeah.
So then I just got through 4. Oh, it's great. But one of the hard and fast rules of Resident Evil is that if anyone falls any great distance into like some realm of obscurity,
they're coming
100% of the time they come back.
Always.
And
Always.
I got the same vibe from the Taylor thing. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong, but
Listen,
I thought Taylor was coming back.
I just started randomly playing Red Dead Redemption 2 again, and that rule does not apply. So, unfortunately...
No, Red Dead Redemption 2 is, you're dead, you're dead.
There was one time, I will say, I was playing, just a quick offshoot, I was playing Red Dead 2, and I called for my horse, and I didn't realize that my horse was going to spawn on a cliff above me, and my horse fucking jumps off the cliff to get to me, and it died.
No.
And I had the fast Arabian horse that I named Skirt Skirt.
Oh, yeah, no, you gotta reload the save. Yeah, there's no way I let that stand.
I was like, this is garbage. I had to restart it. I was like, no.
Yeah.
But Skirt Skirt lives to ride another day.
It's really funny playing Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 because, like, the Rockstar games, their graphic engine is so insanely good and incredible. Yeah. The interface is sometimes so complicated, and I've seen so many videos of people like accidentally try to get on their horse and just punch it in the face or something. And I'm like, I would throw the whole. I would be like, I'm starting a new playthrough. There's no way I can live with knowing that I punched my horse. Never.
I know, I wouldn't either. No way. And I actually had a friend over who'd never played Red Dead before, and I was showing him the game, and I was like, look, there are sometimes people on the side of the street where they ask you to help them. They're like random events, but sometimes you got to be careful. And he's like, why? And then like this woman was calling out to help on the side of the road, and I was like, watch, I'll show you. So I was getting off my horse, and as I'm getting off my horse, she starts standing up and calmly walking towards me, and I was like, no. And then I ran off, and then I got chased, and then the police were after me because I killed bad guys, and it's just...
I killed bad guys.
Yeah.
I killed bad guys.
But listen, it's always good to throw a stick of dynamite into the KKK meeting. You know what I'm saying?
Always. Yeah, I always think that that's the way to do it.
That's the way
I wish that the Animorphs did more of that, but...
Next, we'll put it in our series. We'll put it in our adaptation. All right, so should we move on to the next book, Gianni? The next book in our series?
I suppose so.
Book 44, The Unexpected.
Is it The Unexpected? Yeah,
yes. Okay. You like this one?
I do like this one, actually.
This one's not bad, right?
It makes sense. It's just hilarious to look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostly because of the way she's standing.
Describe for the folks what you're looking at here.
Well, it seems to be Cassie turning into a kangaroo. But she's already standing kind of positioned, like ready to turn kangaroo.
She's got the Arthur fist down by her side.
She's got like kind of a like twinged neck posture to her already. So she's like, I am become kangaroo. The third image is particularly cursed as they just sag her jeans and give her a tail and a diaper butt.
Actually, I have a flannel like this.
I mean,
I'm
sure it's
exactly
comfy,
like
but never
this.
wear it.
Oh no, it's super. It's my warm winter pajama shirt. But
that's a pajama shirt for sure. Because I'm sure it's very comfortable. And
yes.
I love flannel so much, and I always wish I could pull it off more than I ever do. And then I put on a flannel, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could pull it off. I don't know.
You gotta be brave, Gianni. You gotta take risks.
I keep trying.
You gotta find the right colors that work for you.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think I need
a
good flannel combination of colors because I always see it and I'm like,
you would be nice in like a dark brown and different color brown. Like like either the thin stripes are like super dark brown and then the rest of it is like a regular brown, like a lighter brown.
This is good to know.
This is good to know. I think this would be good for you. Earth tones.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah. What I tell you I don't like, the little kangaroo like pouch situation got going on kind of looks like a big old vagina on this little kangaroo.
What do you think a pouch is?
But like this looks. You
don't think it goes in on itself when it's not in use?
This looks too anatomically accurate, and it's making me uncomfortable.
Wait, that's just the chunky bit. Like all cats have that. It's called a primordial pouch, and it's the little chunky bit right near the cat's back legs that you go.
I don't like it because it's a little too front facing in this cover for my liking.
It is. It does seem a little aggressive.
Yeah, like put your little primordial pouch away. You know what I mean?
That's what I say to myself every morning.
Have some
when I wake
decency, Miss Kangaroo.
So what's the tagline on this book, Gianni?
Some say you shouldn't play mind games. Tell that to the Yeerks.
Now, it looks like this second picture of Cassie morphing into the kangaroo, that's the type of person that would say this. Like, I feel like that type of person, you look at him, you're like, okay.
It just looks like, the second image just looks like regular Cassie, but with cat ears and a little tail.
Yeah, and almost like, you know when you go to the carnival and they do the face painting? Almost like she's got a little bit of face paint on her nose.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, like it's come off a little bit, but now she's still wearing the carnival
It's the end of the day.
Paint.
She's sweaty.
Yeah. Oh, poor girl.
So what do you think The Unexpected is about, Mr. Gianni?
I'm going to wager a guess and say that it's something unexpected, but
oh my goodness.
Who can really ever know? I would imagine, like, I don't know, maybe it's unexpected that we're, much like that one random jungle story, maybe we're all of a sudden now in the plains of Australia, and that in and of itself is so unexpected. How do we get back? Well, we can morph into a kangaroo and hop a bunch. Maybe that's the unexpected thing.
So, I will read you the back cover synopsis. The Animorphs have been split up before, and they've had to fight battles without one another. But this time is very different. Not only is Cassie totally alone, she managed to find herself in Australia!
Who could have foreseen?
In the rural outback. The other Animorphs and Axe don't even know she's there. Cassie doesn't have any idea where she's going or if she can even survive the rugged terrain, but she does know she has to get to a town or a village and contact her family and friends because she's just realized there's someone else who's also new to the outback. Visser 3.
Whoa.
And he says good day.
How the hell did she get to Australia?
Don't know.
Tune in next time to find out.
Hey, folks.
All right, sure.
If you're curious and you have theories of how she gets to Australia, you can send us an email. You can email us at morphinbuddies@gmail.com. That's morphinbuddies @gmail.
Ugh, cursed.
Gianni, can you take us out with a beautiful Australian accent that I know that you're
good
very good
mate.
at? There you go. There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah, I won't embarrass any of my Australian friends. But yeah, I mean, very, very excited.
Yes.
I do love the Outback Steakhouse, so I hope
That's
hope
not
we
Australian
end up there.
food.
What do you mean? That's Australian Applebee's.
I can say
put some respect.
I can say one word of Australian.
Oh,
Yeah. That's it. That's all I've got.
that was really good.
That was
really good.
Yeah. That's it. That's all
Yeah?
I've got.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
all my Australian.
Well, if you want more of that, folks, you know
Yeah?
what to tune into.
We'll see you unexpectedly, but it will be expectedly because we're always here for you every couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Every couple of weeks, I make sure to put things up on time. I accidentally uploaded episodes in an incorrect order again.
Again?
Me.
Oh no.
Bad me. I
Oh,
accidentally.
no.
That's why I was like freaking out because I was like, why does it feel like we don't have any time to record these? Why do I feel like we're so caught up? It's because I forgot to put in the last Megamorphs episode. I went from 40 to 41 instead of 40 to 40.5, the Megamorphs. So a couple people caught that. Hey, thanks for putting it out, especially you, Syruppedia. You're keeping me honest. And I just have to say, whoopsie daisy. I'm a human being. You know what I mean? I just make mistakes. So you'll get it.
Do you take them down when you do that and then put them back up?
No,
you just leave
I just
it?
edit the...
And you're like, for 2 weeks, they'll wonder if it was a mistake or if it was on purpose.
As soon as I realize it, I put an edit in the show notes. So I'm like, hey, oopsie daisy, I didn't mean to do this. You'll get that episode next time. So have fun with this one. Sorry.
We do record them in order.
Do record
if you
them
are
in order.
concerned
Yes.
about it, just so you know.
Yes.
Yeah. We're not cheating ourselves.
No, I just forgot that there was a 0.5 and then I was stressed out. And also there was, it's, life can sometimes be a little bit stressful. So it just is. It happens.
Yeah.
We be people.
It is what it is.
But thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for keeping us honest. And we'll see you in the next episode of Morphin Buddies.
Bye.